All right, guys, welcome back into another NBA DFS video. My name is Polzin with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the top core plays here for this 11-9 Wednesday game slate. Going to be touching on the FanDuel core plays as well as the DraftKings core plays as well. Should be a fun slate. It's a big slate, but there is going to be some nice value plays, and I'm going to be coming out with a value plays video as well about 3 hours after this video is posted for you guys. So maybe 1 p.m. Central Time. Okay, I'm doing that so we can get more views onto this video, and then that video still holds some value as well. Value plays video holds value. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. We'll start with DraftKings. So I'm going to start off with these first three because they're pretty much the most obvious plays on the slate. Okay, we'll start with Giannis, who's the highest priced player on the slate. But Drew Holiday is doubtful for tonight's game. So Drew Holiday sitting means that Giannis, his usage doesn't change that much and his DK production doesn't change as much. Only about 4 DK points bump there. Okay, at the same time, Giannis should be a great play, should be a safe 50-60 DK point play. Factor in the matchup with OKC, and he is someone that should dominate on this slate. Given the nature of the slate as well, you should easily be able to afford to fit Giannis into your builds. Now, I will say on FanDuel, much easier to play him, but I'll get into that. I'm going to do DraftKings first and then FanDuel core plays. So I'll get into that in just a second. From there, the next obvious core play here is Darius Garland. So Darius Garland, certainly someone you need to play kind of at his price point. 6.9 is such a cheap price point for him. He is the lowest price player guard-wise that you feel confident is going to get you right around 40 DK points with the upside to go for 50. Okay, we can see his last 3 games have been highly productive going against San Antonio, Sacramento. That's not a matchup that you're worried about too much. 6.9, a cheap price point. I will say some pivots from Darius Garland, given the fact that he's going to be chalky. You could look at Russell Westbrook, cheap price point for someone that I do think is going to go for 40 DK points. And then Jalen Brunson as well, a very cheap price point for someone that could easily go for 40 DK points, and you're kind of expecting him to go for right around 40 DK points. Should be a safe play, but also has that upside. And then Jordan Clarkson as well, and you could even put Mike Conley into this category. Both 2 players that have been extremely consistent fantasy producers. So if Darius Garland gets way too chalky on this 12-game slate, you don't need to eat that chalk. You can look elsewhere. These are just some pivots for you guys as well. And then the most obvious player on the slate, the cover boy of this video, is Miles Turner. Okay, Miles Turner should be chalky. Okay, we've seen his games in which he has gotten over 30 minutes. Okay, he has dominated. So he's played in 5 games thus far this season. 2 of them, he didn't get over 30 minutes and struggled. 18 and 24 DK points. The games in which he's gotten over 30 minutes, 54, 31, and 62 DK points. Pretty much, if he's playing 30 minutes like he should, going to be a very strong price point play for you on this slate. The problem with him is he's going to be extreme chalk as he should be. Miles Turner going to be a great play. Let's just say, I'm going to put him into the build, but let's just say he does get into foul trouble potentially. I do think Isaiah Stewart at a similar price point, he could be a player you're looking at as well. He's been extremely consistent and he is pretty cheap as well. You look at, his last 5 games, 37, 17 DK points, obviously not good, 33, 30, and 42 DK points. The worry with him is foul trouble. Has been kind of prone to foul trouble, but he could be a strong pivot off of a very chalky Miles Turner that could potentially have a little bit more safety. I wouldn't say just as much upside, but has 40 DK point upside for you as well. So now that we got those 3 obvious plays out of the way, let's touch on some players that might not be as obvious. I do really like Cam Thomas as price point, and this is as the slate currently sits. Okay, you could potentially look at someone like Javon Carter, who, if you guys watched the Occupy Fantasy NBA DFS video as well, I made him the cover boy. Just price point wise, should be someone that at 3.9 on DraftKings should be someone that is giving you right around 20 DK points. I just worry about the upside, and that's where I like someone like Cam Thomas, who, yes, he is more expensive, about $1,000 more expensive, but I do think that 10 or so, 15 or so DK points that you can get with Cam Thomas, I like a little bit more, especially for like giving you guys a core plays video. You look at what he's been able to do with both Kyrie and Yuta Watanabe, he's out as well. You look at what he's been able to do with those 2 off the court, 27% usage rate, which is about a 7% bump in his usage rate. And then DK average per 36 is 35 DK points. So he hasn't gotten 36 DK points just yet. And I'm not saying he's going to, but I do like the shot attempts that he's getting, over 10 shot attempts in each game. Has been, hasn't had like an extremely hot night, but hasn't been terrible shooting the ball as well. So he is someone kind of just right now as the slate sits. I like the price point of him. Could easily switch as the game or as the site goes on. And in that value plays video, I'll touch on some great values as well. So make sure to check that out as well. And there's a lot of players like this. I already mentioned a couple of the Utah Jazz guards who, they could have made a strong case to be in this video, just given their consistency and their upside. They could have been in this video. But I'm looking at Buddy Hield, who for some reason has not seen a price bump. It doesn't really make sense. 4 straight games of over 40 DK points. And we can scroll, guys. 7 straight games of hitting value at his current price point. And really this whole season, he's only had 1 game in which didn't pay off, and he only played 16 minutes in that game. So I'm guessing he got injured in that game. Playing a ton of minutes, shooting the ball a lot, been extremely consistent. Buddy Hield just makes a lot of sense at this price point, and you love the fact that you could play him at the guard or forward spot as well. Now switching up into the FanDuel core plays. Now I do want to touch and say I love all the players on FanDuel or on DraftKings that I mentioned on FanDuel as well. You can play in there. Obviously, price points are a little bit different. Darius Garland and Miles Turner are both priced up a little bit more on FanDuel. It makes them more difficult to play. Now, I did mention Giannis would be a player that I would touch on in FanDuel as well. And yeah, he's priced a little bit cheaper on FanDuel. He's someone that you should just kind of easily plug and play there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing with him. And then Bobby Portis, I almost made him a core play for DraftKings as well. He is going to be lower owned on DraftKings, and that's kind of what I like about him. But Bobby Portis, with Drew Holiday out, has actually seen a big bump in usage, about 11%. Which is awesome. So Drew Holiday off the court, it actually seems like they shift to kind of a bigger lineup. Now the minutes might not be guaranteed, like he's just not playing a lot of minutes, and that's kind of what holds him back. Okay, and I know he's not going to get 36 minutes. Okay, but his per 36 minutes fantasy point wise with Drew Holiday off the court is over 50. So let's just say he gets those 40. And at this price point, that's something, that upside is something I can't pass up on. This is pretty much like playing Miles Turner on DraftKings due to the upside. So Joe Harris is someone that I thought about making a core play as well on DraftKings, just priced up $300 more. Felt like that was enough for me to not like him. But Joe Harris is also someone that does get a small usage bump with Drew Holiday and Utah both off the, not Drew Holiday, Kyrie Irving and Utah off the court. Okay, the minutes have been there, and with those two off the court, he gets about a 6% bump in usage and about like 8 to 10 fantasy points bump. So given the price point, he should be a safe play, and I love the fact that you can play him at the guard and forward spot as well. John Wall is a player on FanDuel, just $200 cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, and that might be enough for me to get onto him. Okay, we have seen the minutes bump up from, he was pretty much getting 28 to 25 minutes. The last two games, 27 and 28 minutes. So if that is a sign of things to come, if his minutes have bumped up, a few more, that's huge, because he is someone that has been a very strong price per minute player. And if we can lock in, 28 minutes at 4.8, I do think he's someone that gives you around 25 FanDuel points with the upside for 30 FanDuel points. Now, not a lock and load by any means, but I do like the price point. It should be a strong kind of price point play for you on the slate. Once again, once more value opens up, we might shift over, but for now, that price point is something that I am very intrigued. Royce O'Neal on FanDuel is also a player that I like, just kind of chasing the upside. Okay, we've seen him have one bad game with Kyrie Irving not there, and the other games have been great. So 40 FanDuel points, 31 FanDuel points, 32 FanDuel points, and 29 FanDuel points. And then that one game was 18. Okay, just an off game. Those happen. Okay, chances are at this price point of 4.8 on FanDuel, he is someone that should be able to come through for you. At this price point is someone that should be a strong price point play once again. So we have two very strong, or a bunch of strong price point plays here, and then paying up for Giannis. This is a slate in which you can easily pay up for two studs, and as the night develops, as the injuries come in, that is what I'm going to be trying to do. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Please give me a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to help you guys out. If you guys want to become a 9to5 member, get access to the NBA DFS DraftKings lineup optimizer. You can. That's available for $10 a month. It is a golf membership, so you get the premium golf package, which is awesome. That also includes a DraftKings lineup optimizer. Then that also gives you access to the NFL DFS DraftKings lineup optimizer, all for $10 a month. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a good slate, and as always, let's keep cashing.